Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. I got a new office chair, so pardon me, pardon the wet shirt, pardon the lateness, pardon everything. Okay, I'm trying to get my life together. This is going to be a more relaxed live. I'm going to be eating and drinking while I'm on this joint so that I can, you know, make sure that I get some nourishment because the struggle is real. It's been a busy day. My mom had a doctor appointment. And then we had to go to the store. And then I got up, worked out, and me and God got your girl. If she watches this or she's watching now, hey sis, we're like being each other's accountability partners for working out because I lost a lot of weight last year. I lost about like 30 pounds last year in the span of like 6 months or something like that. And then as soon as the holiday season came about and as soon as like the world started opening back up, I slowly but surely started gaining the weight back. So I gained a lot of it back and I was really just disappointed and upset. But you know what? We getting it done. And at the end of the day, I'm really just trying to do something that works for me because a lot of times, sorry, y'all, I'm trying to get my socials together when I'm talking to y'all. A lot of times we want to do something that works for other people in the way that it works for them. But at the end of the day, it's like, you got to do what works for you. You might not be able to just completely go vegan or whatever the case may be. Like, you might have to actually just cut out one or two things. And it's a small progression. You can start off by saying, well, I'm going to cut out soda. Like if you drink a lot of soda, you might say, I'm just going to cut out soda. Or you might say, well, I'm going to cut out fried foods, or I'm going to eat like chicken a little less. You just got to take like one step at a time, and you got to be realistic because you can't go out here having eaten like trash for years and then be like, I'm just going to turn over a new leaf and be healthy. Like, treat yourself. I'm eating a croissant right now as we speak. Give yourself some wiggle room, give yourself some grace because it's really a lifestyle change. So this is probably going to be like a mukbang / live / just everything. But anyways, I want to dive on in. And I started earlier today because I want to have a little bit more time to do the live because I didn't go live last week. So I low-key want to make up for lost time. And I also want to be off on time to go support my girl, Yasmin Williams Woods, because a lot of people that support me support her. Like, we're all friends. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm not intruding too much into her time. But because she goes live 4 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays, 3 p.m. Central. Sorry, y'all. But anyways, so why did I go back home? Those of you who might be new here, or maybe you just weren't really paying attention. I planned a road trip to go home in like February, like end of February, because the beginning of this year was rocky for me. Like, I had a relationship that went up in flames that seemed really promising. I had so many like business things that were on my mind to do, and I was feeling really overwhelmed and really like incapable of doing what I want to do. So the anxiety was at an all-time high. Hey, sis. The anxiety was at an all-time high. And, it's just a lot. Like, coming out of 2020, it was just like, okay, like, where do we go from here? Because things are still kind of up in the air. And so the final straw that broke the camel's back for me was at the end of that relationship. Like I said, that seemed really promising. And I was like, man, like, I had just seen some things and heard some things that really just left me distraught. And I was like, you know what? I just really need to, I need to get away because Atlanta is ripping me a new one since I got here. And I need to get back home, see familiar places, see familiar faces, just get away. Like, because when I'm here, it's like, I'm still like, it's cool, but it still doesn't completely feel like home. I don't know if I ever will, but it's just like, it's cool for certain reasons. I was like, I need to get home, like with my people in the streets that raised me, or people that have been knowing me all my life, or at least for a couple of years. Well, and so I was like, I'm just not planning a road trip. And so I planned a road trip for the middle of this month. I went from April 15th to the 20th. And for those who don't know, I'm originally from the Washington, D.C. area. So we call it the DMV because it's a tri-state area. You literally can drive over the bridge and go from D.C. to Maryland, or drive over the bridge and get from Maryland to Virginia, or from Virginia to D.C. Like, it's all just over bridges from each other. So a lot of people might work in DC and live in Maryland, or live in Virginia and work in DC, or whatever the case may be. So if you hear me say the DMV, that's what I mean, the Washington DC area. But I also have lived in Virginia, like Northern Virginia, most of the 8 years I lived in Virginia, but I did spend a year living like in the greater Richmond area. And so I established some connections there too. And then my best friend moved there and stuff. So I was like, I just need to go home to the DMV and to Richmond and just see like familiar people, familiar streets, all of that good stuff. And so I started, because when I was coming from up here or down here, I drove from Georgia up to the Baltimore area where my brother lives, Baltimore, Maryland. Stayed with him for 2 days, and then I went down to Dumfries, Virginia, which is by Quantico. My military folks, you know all about the Quantico base. So I stayed there with my friend Ebony LeMay. She's the other YouTuber. She does home decor, lifestyle videos, and blogging. She has Ebony LeMay, her home decor and cleaning channel, and then she has Life with LeMay, which is her vlogging channel. So check her out. And she's also coming out with some candles that y'all will be seeing here soon. Luxurious ambiance. It's happening. Things are popping off. So I stayed with her for a night, chilled with her and her family, and then I went down to Richmond and stayed with my best friend for 2 nights. So, Jazz, you said move to Florida. I need friends. The funny thing is, I know so many people in Florida now, between like the Orlando area, and I have a cousin that lives in Pensacola and Fort Lauderdale, like Broward County, Pompano Beach, all that. I could go to any of those areas and be straight. And I was saying, like, I go to any of those areas and be straight. I could go to Charlotte and be straight. It's like influencing has really changed the game for me as far as my connects. And so, yeah, like I'm gonna be in Florida in the fall. Depending on which part you're in, we might be able to see each other, because my mom's gonna be there twice this year, but I'm gonna be there in the fall for Christian's birthday. We're taking a trip. So depending on which part you're in, we definitely gotta link up for sure. But that's where I stayed. That's what I did. And then from Richmond, I left and drove back down here to Atlanta. That was that. And so while I was on the trip, I gained a lot of clarity. I gained a lot of just like insight and reminders of just life and where I'm at, because I feel like a lot of times, especially me, I'm a very like goal-oriented person and like a to-do list type and whatnot. And when you accomplish certain things, you feel like, okay, what now? Like, I wanted to accomplish that, did it, like, where do I go from here? And you could feel kind of stagnant. And that's what I was kind of feeling. Like I said, this year it started just ripping me a new one. And so I was like, okay, where do I go from here? But the trip really clarified things for me and just reminded me of certain things too. So I want to share those lessons with y'all. Some of them are not going to be rocket science. It might not be like, oh my gosh, that's a word. But either way, it was good to hear. And yes, I'm licking my fingers. I'm licking the frosting off of this the cinnamon roll. My mom and sister went to the store, brought back cinnamon rolls. I'm telling you. But anyways, let's get into these lessons, because I have a lot of lessons and I'm just going to talk, and it's just going to be a girl chat. Like, we just going to kick it. So the first lesson I got from going back home is that, oh, you're in the Orlando area? What? Okay, so we might be going there. We're still deciding between Orlando and Southern Florida. So we're definitely going to be talking as the months go by. And if we go to Orlando, we're linking up. Yeah, like, let's do it. Actually, to be honest, I think we're leaning more towards Orlando, because I wanted to take Christian to Disney World. But even if I don't take him to Disney World, there's so much to do in Orlando, because I've been several times. So don't quote me yet. Let me confirm things. But we're definitely linking up if I'm in Orlando. So the first point is that home is where the heart is. So, or the first lesson I should say is home is where the heart is. Not rocket science. I know it's not like, oh my gosh, like I said, but it really is where the heart is. I realized that so much. Hey, Kendall, I shouted you out in the beginning. I said I was running late because I woke up and I was like, let me work out first before my day gets busy. So I got on here way later than I wanted to, but hey, we did it. And now I'm eating a cinnamon roll, girl. Like, but it's my mom and sister's fault. I'm trying. I'm still intermittent fasting though. But but yeah, so anywho, home is really where the heart is. And I realized that, like, it's one of those things that when you were born and raised in an area and you never left, even though the DMV is a tri-state area, even though the DMV is a tri-state area, And I've lived all around the DMV. I've lived in PG County. I've lived in DC. I've lived in Virginia. I've lived in more like Central Virginia. I've lived like all over the place. But you can kind of just be like, we are in this together. I'm like, oh, the devil is a lie. You saw me working out this morning, and then you're going to go to the doctor and come back with cinnamon rolls. Between that and my mom's cooking, this is why weight loss is a battle. Okay. But, yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. This is like a mukbang live type thing. Yeah, text me, Jazz. So, I just realized that, like, you know, sometimes when you're in an area all your life and you're just like, okay, this is cute, this is cool, but you get over it. You're just like, I'm tired of being here. I'm tired of seeing the same thing. I'm tired of this, that. And then you realize when you leave that it's like, you know what? I actually do miss being home. I actually do miss what home gave me, you know. And me and my best friend, the one that I stay with in Richmond, we talk about this all the time, where it's like, you know, we grew up in PG County. And so PG County is like blackity, black. It's like black excellence, black joy, black love, black pride, blackity, black. And so being in that environment and growing up in there and just being used to like being one of many, you know, the people that live in the home next to you look like you. The schools are pretty much populated with people that look like you. Like it's all, everything is so familiar that you take it for granted, because we kind of got to a point in our late teens, early 20s, where we're like, oh my gosh, get me out of here. Like, I'm so tired of seeing these people. This sucks. I'm so tired of it. This, that, the third. And then we left and we got, you know, into different areas, different careers. She had gotten married and all that good stuff. And we realized, like, you know what? I really do miss certain things about PG County. Like, I really do miss just the exposure. I miss the quality of life. I miss, you know, not having to worry about certain things, especially with the climate in this country and everything going on, or that's been going on, but being heightened all over again, you know? And it's like, I really miss just being able to like be in a certain environment and in a certain quality of life. And I realized that again when I went back, because when I first got there, I met up with another blogger, influencer friend. Her name is Gallivant DMV on IG, but her real name is Cassandra. Hey girl, if you see this video. But we met up at Lido's, because Atlanta ain't got no Lido's. I don't know if Lido's is where y'all live, but if you have never had Lido's pizza, it is life. Like, I don't even really like thin crust pizza like that. But Lido's, I can eat a whole large box by myself if you leave me to it. Like, I won't, because we getting healthy, you know, but I could if you leave me to it. And it is just so good. It melts in your mouth. It's buttery. It's the crust is flaky. It's just like, oh my gosh. Like, I want some right now as we're talking about it. So it met up at Lido's, because I was like, I have not had Lido's. Even when I lived in the Richmond area, it had been a while, because I just didn't buy it. You know, I didn't anticipate leaving the area as soon as I did. So I was like, you can always get Lido's. So we met up there, and I was just like, man, I miss this. Like, we met up right by my childhood home, and she told me the marketplace name, and I forgot. I didn't realize what it was until I pulled up, and I was like, Vista Gardens. Like, I know this place. We used to go grocery shopping here. My childhood home was right down the street, and it was just so nostalgic. Like, the neighborhood was so different. Flamingo Resort is kid friendly for sure. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna keep that in mind. Thanks, Jazz. But it was just like, it was so nostalgic. It's like the neighborhood has matured. The trees are bigger. You know, the demographic has changed a little bit. The stores are pretty much still the same. I was actually shocked that they still have a Shoppers Food Warehouse. That's another DMV kind of grocery store, because I thought that they had went bankrupt, but that's neither here nor there. So, you know, that was still there. And then at the end of the Lido's eating time together, I drove by. Oh, water is literally dripping out of my hair. Okay. But I literally drove by my childhood home, and it was empty for years. Like, nobody was living there, because, you know, for those who don't know, we lost it to foreclosure with all the bad mortgages in the early 2000s and stuff. That's a whole nother story. I think I did a whole story time about that or something. And if I didn't, hey, content, you know, but it was a lot. It was a lot that we went through in that season of life. And that started like a 10, 11 year journey of us just trying to get back on our feet, and then all sorts of stuff popping off. But it was empty for a few years, and someone's living there now. And it was empty to the point where, like, there's a sunroom in the back of the house, like an actual room with just like glass and, you know, the skylights and all that. And it was empty so long that the trees in the back of the yard, because our old neighbor that was there, they moved in after we moved in. They're still there. I still talk to them on Facebook. They were like, yeah, like, your house has been empty so long to where the trees fell into the sunroom. Like, 3 of those tall, older trees fell in. crushed the whole sunroom. So I don't know. Obviously, they must have fixed it if people are living there. But this was like a couple years ago because Maryland had like a really bad storm or tornado or something. But it was just so crazy driving down that street because I was just like reminiscing. I was like, I remember when the house was being built. I remember my parents taking me and putting me, like we're walking in the foundation and stuff. This is back in the day before they had all the regulations that you can't walk on home construction sites and stuff. So we used to go. We had put scriptures in the wall. And we blessed the foundation of the home and the frame and stuff. And it's just like, I just felt like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I don't want to say like a spirit because I don't want to spook y'all out. But, I just felt like, I don't know. I can't even describe it, but it just felt familiar. It felt like weird, but like comforting weird and like peaceful. And I was just watching the people that live there. Now I didn't linger though, because I don't want to creep people out. But if it was like a more country town or something like that, I would have knocked on the door and been like, hey, I'm one of the original owners of this house. I grew up here. I just love to peek in. I'm not going to walk in, but, I just like to peek in. But where I grew up, we ain't doing that. Like, we not doing that. But I'm just like, man, I would have loved to see the inside and just like reminisce about Christmases and how we used to decorate the foyer and all that. And then driving down the street and seeing some of my old neighbors still there. Like, some of them have really gotten older now because they were already kind of like middle-aged, early senior citizen age when I lived there. And now they're much older. And just seeing them in the yard, I know they don't recognize me because, listen, between my hairstyle changes and my wigs and all that, like, you never know. Like I told Kendall, God got your girl, I was like, I'm like Carmen Sandiego. Like, you just don't know. I might be natural like today. Tomorrow I might have on a red wig. Like, you just don't know. I go with how I'm feeling, how my spirit is moving that day. So a lot of people don't recognize me. And then I have lost weight because I was a little bigger back then. Not like humongous, but I was definitely a little bigger. My face is slimmed up and stuff like that. So I was not about to be waving at folks and whatnot because they'll be like, who are you? And in old age, people tend to forget. But I just felt like my heart was at ease. Like, ever since we got to Atlanta, it has been the fight of your life. Like, we have been fighting the good fight. And every time we think we see the light at the end of the tunnel, it's like the light at the end of the tunnel is a train coming to run you over. And it's just like, it's just fire after fire after fire after fire after fire. And I saw a meme yesterday or like a thread on Instagram. And it said, like, this is why you can't judge people for how they are because you don't know what they've been through in life to be the way that they are. And a lot of people, and sorry if I'm just all over the place. Like I said, this is just a girl talk. So I'm just talking and eating and all that. But a lot of people might see me because I had this talk with my friend Meg, Mrs. Agenti on Instagram. And they might be like, oh, well, she's not a godly woman. She's not a Christian woman, quote unquote, because I got some street in me. I'm sorry. Like, I'm real, like, I'm a little rough around the edges and it is what it is. And I've come to terms with it. But sometimes I get in seasons where I start to doubt myself and I start to feel like, well, I'm not like her or I'm not, as righteous as they are because society always has an image in their head of what a godly or biblical or Christian woman should look like, talk like, dress like, act like. And I'm just like, that's not me. And so a lot of times I would feel that energy from people. Like, they won't say like, oh, you're not a Christian woman. I don't get that. But you just feel like you can tell when someone's looking at you and they're like, like their energy is kind of thinking. I was just like, for me, you don't understand. You can't really judge if you don't understand what I've been through to be the way that I am. And that thread, it hit. Like, I'm going to see if I can find it again and post it on my stories on Instagram. But I was like, that's so true. Because like, as soon as you meet people, we're instantly scanning them to be like, okay, what can I label you as? What can I, categorize you as? And it's like, at the end of the day, I might not fit your box, but that doesn't mean I'm any less than you or any less saved or whatever. Like, things don't exist in a vacuum. So if I tend to be a little bit more gritty, life has made me that way. Like, there's different things that have pushed me to be the way that I am. And I'm still growing. I'm still learning. Yes, you can definitely feel the energy. Exactly. You get me, Kendall. Like, you can tell when people are like, okay. Like, like they're just judging you, but trying to be nice. So needless to say, because that was a really long point, home is where the heart is. Like, I just really felt at ease. I really felt like I could be me. I didn't have to try to be something else. And, I didn't realize also how much I missed my people until I got up there. Because last year, considering everything that was happening with the lockdown and stuff, I felt it in waves and in different waves and in different times, but I knew I missed them, but I didn't realize how much until I got there, and I was like about ready to cry because I'm a little thug, but I be crying my thug tears and stuff too, y'all. Like, don't get it twisted. A thug be crying, but seriously, like. I just was like, oh my God, I'm about to cry. Like, I missed y'all so much. I just so lonely. You know, it is so lonely in Atlanta. And thankfully, I have like a little bit of friends now. You know, like one of my photographers, me and her try to hang out. At this point, we're going to try to hang out once a month. Yes, sis, we are. If you see this, you know, because she's like a homebody, so she's not gonna just go out unless I plan something. But I'm here to go out, you know, and I have like a few people that I've met at church that I've visited and stuff. So it's cool, but it's still not the same. Like home is just it's home. I can be me, like go-go music, mumbo sauce, Rock Creek Park soda, like all all of those things, you know. So point number 2, your location can determine the outcome of your next season. Y'all, this hit me hard when I was back home because while I missed everybody, while I was like, man, I really miss home, particularly Virginia. Like, I don't see myself living back in Maryland because that's where I primarily grew up in Maryland, but I really miss Virginia. Maryland, I could do without. Been there, done that. But you know, your location can determine the outcome because opportunities and exposure, like recognition and stuff, can really be attached to a location. And I realized that because excuse me, the nature of the business that I'm doing now, being a creative entrepreneur, the DMV is not really known for that. Like, it's getting more traction now, but Atlanta is definitely the place to get your entrepreneurship journey like skyrocketed. Like, you want to hit the ground running, boom. But you have to put in the work. And that's where a lot of people get it twisted. They come to Atlanta and they think just the air and them being in the city is going to bring them everything they need. And it's like, you have to be ready to work, especially in a city like this, because the difference is both the DMV and Atlanta have a lot of transplants, meaning people moving in and out the city and stuff. But the DMV is a more steady flow, a constant steady flow, because it's military, it's the nation's capital, the seat of the government, and they have a very, very steady and great job market. Like throughout the whole country, I would say DC is probably the best, if not definitely in the top 3, because the job market is so stable there and it pays so well. So a lot of people, even when they retire from the military or if they leave the government, they still stay there just because it's like there's so many places you can move around within the area and the pay is phenomenal. Like you really can't beat it. And you get just enough of that southern life, but just enough of the northern. It's the mid-Atlantic, you know, so you get a little bit of everything. But Atlanta is like go, 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 because it's a lot of people moving here every month. It's like 20,000 people a month moving here. I've read in statistics up to 20,000 people a month. That's almost 1,000 people a day. Competition is stiff. Okay. Like you got to come here and you got to be ready to grind. This is not a city or a place that you could come to and just be like, I'm here, Atlanta. The world is my oyster. Give me everything. Like, no, you need to put rubber to the road. You need to get to work, roll up your sleeves, and keep your hands on the plow, because otherwise you're going to get left. Like, you need to get right or you're going to get left. So needless to say, with that being said, because the DMV is more steady and a lot of people just are in politics, government, different type of business, or like, you know, corporate level, C-suite type stuff, it's a little harder as a creative entrepreneur to get the networking and to meet the people and to just get the exposure. You know, when it comes to creative stuff and anything like blogging, YouTube, musicians, artists, whatever, dancers, fashion designers, like everyone's always looking at Atlanta. Eyes are always on Atlanta. Even when, like, literally when I first moved here and I was still trying to figure out if I was even going to stay here because we were homeless and stuff, I had people reaching out to me like, oh, I see that you're an Atlanta blogger. I see that you live in Atlanta. Can I partner with you? Can I do that? Like, they're just always looking. So if you are consistent and you put yourself out there just enough, I'm not saying you got to be in everything in the mix all the time, but if you put yourself out there enough, you will get noticed and you will get the opportunities a little faster than if you're in another city. And I've realized that, you know, so the opportunities that I have here are really, a lot of them, not all of them, a lot of them are really attached to here in this season of life, because also with the lockdown and everything that happened, the world has changed a lot. And that's another thing I've realized, like areas in the DMV where it was really hard to maybe get a higher paying work at home job or whatever. Like that's no longer the case. Even when I visited my friend in Richmond, she works full-time from home for Georgetown University, and Georgetown University is in Washington, D.C. So she works full-time from home, like 2.5 hours from her house. And she ain't got to go in the office, but maybe once every few months for a meeting or something like that. And a lot of people are working full-time from home now. Like companies are just realizing like, hey, we can save money this way. We can find more talent. Let's do it, you know? So the infrastructures and opportunities are definitely changing city to city, particularly in a city like DC, where it was more like bureaucratic and more traditional in how people earn their money and stuff. It's becoming more flexible. It's becoming more creative. It's becoming a little bit more versatile. So, you know, we'll see how things go over time, but I definitely think certain things are here to stay after everything happened with lockdown, because the world is never going to be the same. Like it's never going to be the same after that. But also I realized that who and what you're around can keep you oblivious to what God needs you to do. And so while I was hanging out with my friends, while I was reminiscing and stuff like that, I realized that it was very easy for me to just, and granted, I was on vacation, so my mind was just like, we not working. But I was just thinking to myself, like, if I were still here, I would have to be 10 times as intentional to be focused on what God needs me to do. Not that I would fail, because no matter where I go, I'm gonna succeed. That's just how I am, period. Like, and God got me, but no pun intended, God got to go. But you know, God got me, and that's just the type of person I am. I'm gonna put my hands to the plow. I'm gonna do the best that I can do, and then I'm gonna let God do the rest. But it's easier to be distracted when you're in your comfort zone, because I know where I can go and kick it. I know where I can hang out with people. I know who to reach out to if I don't want to do anything. I know how to procrastinate with the best of them, like a pro, in an area where I'm familiar. When I'm in foreign land where I'm not where I used to be, but where I'm not where I want to be, I'm in the middle. And that's a very scary place, because right now I'm in between the old me and the new me. I'm not all the way at the new me, but I'm closer to the new me than the old me. But I still am like in between. And so in that in between space, it forces me to be focused, because my work and the assignment that God has for me is the only constant thing that I know. That's the only thing that I know. I got to get up and I got to coach these women and I got to take these YouTube videos. Like that's the only thing that's constant in my life. Everything else is always shifting. And granted, I knew when we moved here that this was not going to be my forever home. And I know that even more clearly now. It's even more clear to me, honestly, that I'm not going to be here as long as I thought. I was thinking I was going to be here the next 10, 15 years. Guys like, oh, no. We're not going to be there that long. Like you literally here to just get, I honestly feel like Atlanta is my training ground. Like going back home reminded me of that. It's like, I'm here to get sharpened. I'm here to pick up skills. I'm here to expand my network. I'm here to create a brand and a name for myself and then bounce. Where I bounce to is up for debate. Yes, I really feel like God is pulling me out of my comfort zone and something is amazing. Something amazing is coming. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, sis. Like, when God pulls you out of the comfort zone, he's not going to pull you out into something raggedy. Like he's going to pull you out, and in the end is going to be amazing. Now you might have to go through some raggedy things. You might have to go through some ghetto things to get to the amazing, but it's all part of the pruning process. Like I have grown so much, and I think this is a point later in my list, but I'm gonna say it now. I've grown so much in the last year and a little bit over a year and a half since I've been in Atlanta than I have all my life in the DMV. And I was growing, I was elevating, I was maturing. But being literally catapulted into the unknown, like I'm taking you out of DC and boom, you're here. It's like, okay, like I gotta have my eyes open. I gotta watch my back. I gotta put my thinking cap on. Like there's little room for error. Versus in the DMV, I can err and it's like, okay, I can bounce back. Like, I know what I can do. Like, so it's definitely something where it's like when you are around certain people and around certain places, you can really lose sight of what God needs you to do. I can see, like I was able to see vividly how if I was still there, I would have to intentionally, like every day, be fighting to pursue my purpose. And now I know even more people back home, because a lot of people I met up with, I didn't even know them when I used to live there. I met them in my content creation journey, like doing YouTube and Instagram and stuff. And I'm like, would you look at that? Well, that's another thing too. God be knowing. Because if I had met them when I was still living there, I don't think I'd be doing what I'm doing right now. Like I would have just been like, well, honestly, yeah, I definitely wouldn't be. I would just be like, whatever, just doing the predictable, not giving it my all, and taking longer, like I said, to see the fruits. So it is what it is. But the next lesson that I learned is home does not have to be limited to a location. So, of course, home base is always going to be where you grew up, where you were born, whatever. Like, nothing can change that. I can't go back in time and change the fact that I was born and raised in the DMV. So that's always technically going to be my home, but it doesn't only have to be my home. Home could be Atlanta. Home could be Toronto. Home could be New York. Home could be LA. Like, home could be anywhere. But I really do believe that home is more so about the people and the mindset than the location. So the people, meaning who are you connected to? Who's your community? Who are you doing life with? And it doesn't have to be in person either, because me and my sister were talking about that. And I was telling her earlier how my personal end goal in life is to be like a global citizen, meaning I'll probably have definitely one permanent address just for mailing purposes and stuff like that. But I want to have at least 2 or 3 properties that I own that I can just like spend my time in and do as I please. So if I want to, say, escape to one of them and I'm like, you know what, I'm tired of being in Atlanta, I want to go to, you know, I don't know, Houston for 2 weeks or whatever, and I get to Houston, I'm in my condo or what have you, I'm doing my work, still doing business, because thankfully the business I do can be done from anywhere. It doesn't have to be tied to one location unless I decide to get an office space, but who's doing that? And you know, like, we're in the 2020s, ain't nobody getting no office space if you don't need it. Let's just seem too much. So, you know, I could literally just go to Houston in my condo for 2 weeks, and then if I'm there, and I'm like, I don't feel like going back to Atlanta right now, I'm gonna stay for an extra month or something like that. I could do that because it's my condo. I don't have to be like, ooh, but the Airbnb costs, and ooh, I gotta get a hotel, and ooh, like, I don't have the clothes. You know, like, my home will be fully. I'm telling you, Kendall, ain't nobody got time for office space. You know, it's just too much. Like, nah, I'm good. If you don't need it, don't get it. If you need it, then do you, sis. But as for me and my house, I could probably skate by without it, to be honest. Or if I do, it's going to be a really, really, really small one, like a foreclosed home that I turn into an office. But, you know, I can do that because it's my condo. It has my clothes. I can go and buy food and I can stock it up. Like, I want to live that kind of lifestyle to where I have 2 or 3 properties that I can just stay in. And they don't have to be massive. I don't need a 15,000 square foot home in 3 different cities. Like, I don't need that. Just give me a nice condo, a nice, like, 2-3 bedroom condo, you know, 2 baths. And a nice kitchen and a little office space. It ain't even gotta be a separate room. It could just be an enclave. Like, I'm in a office right now, in my bedroom, in my office. So it could be something like that. Like, you know, and I'm just chilling. I'm working. I get a change of scenery. I can come and go as I please. Like, that's my ultimate goal. And so that's when I realized, or I was reminded again when I was back home, that home is really not tied to a location per se, because when that happens, not even if, when that happens and I'm able to own 2-3 properties, home is going to be wherever I'm at for that month. Like, this is home. So if I'm in Houston, that's home. If I'm in Atlanta, that's home. If I'm in Virginia Beach, that's home. Like, wherever I decide to purchase and to, you know, lay some sort of roots, it is what it is. And it's about the people, because the people make it. Like, the DMV itself, it's an inanimate object. Like, I mean, technically, yeah, it's the earth, you know, it's a city, it's geography. Like, this, I can't beef with a city. Like, a city is just a city. And I can't have a problem with a city itself. It's the people that make or break the city. So the DMV, the people in it are what make it home to me at the end of the day, because my childhood home was home because of the people in it with me. The home itself, I don't miss. It was a nice home now, don't get me wrong. It was a nice home. My parents really outdid themselves when they designed it. But would I live back in it? No. One, I'm not a fan of going backwards. Like I said, been there, done that, and I don't want to see my old neighbors again. Love them to death, but I don't want to live next to them again. Two, it's just like, there's so much more life and so much more world to explore. Like, I've never been the type of person that just wanted to stay in one spot. I've always had itchy feet. So, you know, for me, I don't see it. But it really boils down to the people and the mindset. The next thing is that, yes, I miss my people back home, but not that area. Wait, where are you from, Kendall? Because aren't you in Michigan right now, if I'm not mistaken? But correct me if I'm wrong. But what is it? Okay, so the next lesson I learned: familiar places can resurrect things that you thought were dead. Y'all, I'm gonna need you to pass around the collection plate just on this right here, because when I tell you, yes, itchy feet, I've always wanted to go. Always been, that she's a runner, she's a track star. But I'm not running from that. I'm not running from the meaning of the song. Or girl, that's hilarious. But I'm from the Flint. Oh, for real? Oh snap! I didn't know you were from Flint. I've never actually stayed in Michigan. I've driven through it or by it to get to Chicago and to get what is Chicago? I think it was Chicago, but I know definitely when we went to Minnesota. I know for a fact. But you're from Huntsville? Get out of here. I know so many people in Huntsville. Because the high school I went to, so I went to Tacoma Academy. Shout out TA Tigers. Whoop, whoop. But a lot of people that I went to high school with went to Oakwood University in Huntsville, because it's the only SDA HBCU that I know about, at least. It's the only SDA HBCU, and it's in Huntsville, Alabama. So I visited Huntsville like 2-3 times to see my friends. And one of my best friends, she used to live there when she was married, moved to Atlanta, stayed here for a couple years when she got divorced, and now she's back in the Huntsville area. So, oh my gosh, like small world. But that's a big change from Alabama to Michigan. That's a huge change. You said that you were raised in Flint, so you had some time to be up there. Oh, okay, yeah, you had time, because I was like, wait, let me reread that. But girl, that Michigan weather, ooh wait, I can't move further north than Richmond at this point. If I did, no, I'm lying. I could move further north if I end up in Toronto. I absolutely love Toronto. Like, my grandfather, before he passed, he used to live there, and I have an aunt that lives there, and I think an uncle. Not really close to them, but I have visited them before, and I love it. I love Toronto. It's a whole vibe. The people are super friendly. The city is so clean. It's nice. It's just a nice city. It's a really nice city, and it's super diverse. You literally see some of everybody represented. And that's one thing I do miss about DC. On a major side note here, I do miss a DMV just for the diversity. I love the fact that I can literally reach out and get food from like pretty much anywhere in the world. I can reach out and see people from anywhere in the world. I was exposed to different cultures from a very young age. So I have a lot of cultural awareness that other people might not have, for like Indian culture and Thai culture, Vietnamese culture, and, Latino culture, and of course, Caribbean, because my family's Caribbean, and different African cultures like Nigerian and whatnot. Like, I just have an awareness because it was literally around me. And a lot of my friends were not 100% American. So they were either first or second generation. And it's just really diverse. And trust and believe, I ate every foreign food that I could eat when I was up there. That's why I put on weight. I came home, I was like, all right, time to put on this waist trainer, accountability partner. Let's get it done, because summer is around the corner and I'm over here eating my life away, trying to eat what I can't get in Atlanta. So needless to say, I just had to say that. But yeah, so let's pass a collection plate around for this point right here, because y'all, it was so deep. This was something I realized on my trip back home. And then my pastor at my old church in Maryland preached the same thing on Sunday. I was like, okay, God, I hear you. I hear you. So, familiar places can resurrect things that you thought were dead. Listen, y'all, being in Atlanta, and I would say even outside of Maryland, because when I was in Maryland, this is when I had a lot of fighting of old ways, old temptations, old people coming out the woodwork talking about, hey, big head, all that kind of stuff. So when I was there, I realized that sometimes you could get to a point where you feel like you've overcome an obstacle. You feel like, oh, I don't struggle with fornication anymore. I don't struggle with alcoholism anymore. I'm above that. I'm past that. I'm delivered from it. And let you get in the right environment, and you're not delivered from it, okay? Like, it's just been down for a long time, but it's not dead. Hey, Yasmin, I shouted you out at the beginning. I said I started going live earlier today because you usually go live at 4 p.m. my time, and I didn't want people to have to like debate, like, oh, should I stay here? Should I go to Yasmin's channel? Because we be hopping in and out of each other's channels and stuff, but it's like that thing isn't really dead. You just haven't been in an environment where it can grow, where it can fester. But let you get in the right environment, baby, that temptation will come at you. like a roaring lion. Okay, like it would come out of nowhere. You will be literally like looking at yourself like, am I even the same person? You will be having a whole identity crisis. You'll be thinking like, I'm a hypocrite because I was talking about I'm delivered from this, I'm delivered from that, I don't struggle with this no more, this, that. And you get in the right environment and you struggling with the same thing you said you were delivered from, and you're concerned because you're like, I hope no one's recording because I don't want this to come out. Like you literally, and I'm speaking from experience. I'm reiterating the thoughts that I had to myself. So that's what I said, Yasmin. I was like, I didn't know she was from Alabama. I mean, I'm not from there, but I have a lot of friends that live in Huntsville and Birmingham, and I have some in Montgomery. So I'm just like, what in the world? I did not know this. So yes, I said, wait, maybe I didn't know that. I didn't know. This is news to me today. But yeah, it's there was a lot of things where I'm like, okay, I thought I was delivered from this, and I'm not delivered. A big one for me, people pleasing. Y'all, I got back home. Whoo, child. Oh my. Let me take a bite out of my cinnamon roll for this. I was like, sis, you said you were over this. Why are you fighting people pleasing? Like, what in the world? No, ma'am, we're not doing that. And I'm just like, the right environment. Oh, man. And I will say I am proud, though, because back in the day, I did struggle. I wouldn't say I was an alcoholic or nothing like that, but I did drink a lot. So I was proud of myself. I did not get drunk. You know, I monitored what I was drinking. I did not overdo it. So I'm very proud of myself for that, because being back home, especially like I said in Maryland, y'all, it ain't nothing for me to get turned off some vodka or some Henny or shots of tequila. It ain't nothing. Like that's nothing but, listen, a hop, skip, and a jump. They got drive-through liquor stores left, right, and center everywhere. So I was like, thank goodness I didn't fall back into that, or like any of the smoking or none of that. Like no shade to people that smoke. You know, I don't even want to get in that discussion, but I'm not one of those people that's going to condemn you to hell if you do it. I understand why some people do. But listen, I was like, oh my, all right. So I'm home. I'm definitely home. That's what we not going to do. You said you a good one because I can't go back to the track. They have drive-through liquor stores in Cleveland too. Oh my gosh, like I really think that's a thing now, but it really is a thing. Because I remember by my childhood home, I remember when they turned that liquor store into a drive-through. This was back in like, I want to say like 2003, 4. It was something like, it was a while ago. And it was a foreign concept. People were like, wow, we really driving through the liquor store? Like, no. And then that plaza is still the same. There's a drive-through liquor store, a Big Daddy's barbecue. You know you in a certain neighborhood when you got a Big Daddy's. If you ain't got a Big Daddy's, you're not in that neighborhood. So it's a liquor store, a Big Daddy's barbecue, a Danny's Chinese carryout, and I want to say a 7-Eleven in that same strip. And then across the street is like the same family that owns the Danny's Chinese carryout. They own it's like Sea Star or Seafood Star or something like that. But they sell like salmon and fresh fish and stuff. Food is bang. I'm not even gonna lie, but the restaurants still look the same. I swear it's still the same people in the line at the drive-thru at the liquor store. I'm like, y'all have not changed. Like everything changed, but it's like it stayed the same at the same time. And I was just like, okay, this is like a little too familiar. Now, when I went to Lido's, which is in the opposite direction of my childhood home, so if we were going this way, we would have got to the drive-thru liquor store. If we're going that way, we get to the Lido's where I met Cassandra, Gallivan DMB. That plaza looks the same as far as the stores, but the people on that side of my neighborhood, the demographic has changed a lot. It's a lot more diverse. It's a lot more, it's like they spruced it up a little bit. It was always a nice plaza. That was always like the uppity plaza, but it's even nicer. And I feel like they have one or two new things there too. The same people in the line. The same people like, hey, baby girl. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm so glad because is there a drive-through liquor store by my house now? Yeah, there is one. I can't even front. There is one. It's like 6 minutes, but it's barely noticeable. Honestly, it's like at the back of a gas station. It looks kind of shady. I ain't buying liquor. If I do drink, it's wine, and I could get that at the grocery store. So I don't go to liquor stores. But it looks kind of sketch. I'm not gonna lie, it's really weird. But anywho, I realized some things that I thought were dead. Oh no. They were not dead. They were just down. Being away, especially like I said in Maryland, because I've been away from Maryland since 2011. Yeah, 2011, September, we moved to Virginia. So even when I was in Northern Virginia, even though it's a tri-state area, I still didn't go to Maryland that much because the traffic is horrendous. Even though I just got to cross over the bridge, traffic be ridiculous. So I never really ventured into Maryland once I moved to Virginia. I barely went to DC. And once I moved closer to Richmond, I was like, DC, Maryland, like the Soldier Boy meme, like DC, Maryland, ain't nobody doing that. I'm going to Richmond. It's closer. So I really was just out of the loop. I really forgot. And I was not surrounded by certain things that used to be a trigger for me, and being in those environments, I was like, oh my, yeah, there's definitely, let me not be too hasty. And this is why I've always been leery. This is just my personal thing. So I'm not going to condemn you to hell if you proclaim what you've been delivered from or whatever, like share the good news. But for me, I've always been leery about saying it because I'm like, all it takes is the right opportunity and I could be falling back into the same thing I said I was delivered from. So I'm just like, certain things, like, don't follow me, follow God. I'm just here to give you some encouragement, some inspiration, a little bit of a word. And please go read the Bible, go talk to God. Don't follow me because you never know. Daily Delle might be off that day. Okay. Like, you just don't know. So I'm like, I'm not quick to shout from the mountaintops. I've been delivered from this, that. Because I'm like, listen, let someone catch me on tape because I'm not huge or nothing like that, but I got me a little following, I got me a little publicity or whatever. And let someone catch me on tape. Be like, oh, you were delivered from what? Just like, and then I'm like, oh snap, you got the it's like, I'm not even gonna set myself up. I'm not even gonna do it. I'm constantly reminded every day, stay humble. Like, you ain't even there yet, sis. You ain't even there yet. So I was like, oh my Lord, Jesus be offense. Because child. Now when I got to Virginia, I did deal with some temptation, but nothing that honestly I wouldn't deal with here. So it wasn't too crazy. I almost had a close call slipping back into some old habits, but I quickly snapped out of it. And, I was good. So I think it helped to just be surrounded by my friends and they're not friends that are going to be like, yeah, girl, get back into those old habits. Like, no, their friends are like, nope. Like, we're not doing that. Like, if they see me attempting to do something, they will pull me back. Like, they will literally block me from the situation and be like, no, we're not doing that. Get in the car. We're going home or whatever the case may be. So thankfully I had that and it helped me out. But it's crazy, y'all. Like, give yourself the right environment. And so I never put anything past anybody or anything. All it takes is the right circumstances and the right environment. And next thing you know, you back to the same thing. Look at David. David done stumbled so many times in the Bible, man. Like, one minute he's on top of the mountain. He's like, God, you're great. Lord, thank you. The next minute, man, this man is sliding into some sin. I'm just like, David, like, listen, that's me. I'm like the female version of David, if I'm being completely honest. Minus the adultery and the murder and all of that. But, it's just definitely, I be struggling, y'all. I be really going through it. My stomach hurts laughing at you because I don't feel you. Oh my gosh, girl. I know y'all can relate. I've been delivered from some stuff, but baby, if the triggers are persistent over time, at some point I will revert. Oh my gosh, Yasmin, I will snap on somebody. I'm not delivered from that yet. I can say that, like, I am not delivered from snapping on you. Now, I have gotten a little bit more professional with it and a little bit more like, less shots of vodka, more honey, sweet tea. But listen, you push my button. I instead of snapping on the first try, I'll wait to the second, maybe third. If it's a day where I'm really feeling it, like righteous and stuff, I'll give you to the third. But after that, I'm going off. I'm sorry. So that's not my ministry. Y'all pray for me, but it's like, but you always need one. Hey, Peter was a disciple, and he was impulsive. So it is what it is. Listen, we all got our struggles. So listen, Yasmin, David, and this is why I be telling people the Bible is so interesting. Like, people be sleeping on it. Just reading the story of David and Saul and all that in the Old Testament, I could read that over and over, and I'm turning the page like I never read the story before, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, that's what they were doing. It's so crazy. Hey girl, how you doing? But it's definitely, like, I relate to David hard body because I be in these streets struggling, y'all. Like, it'd be rough. It'd be really rough. So that point right there, like, I could have done this whole live just on that because I told y'all, like, I had that revelation. And then Sunday, this past Sunday, my old pastor preached on it. And I was like, wow, okay, God. Like, I hear you talking to me. And God is like, yeah, don't get haughty, because it's easy for us to get there, to feel like, oh, I'm above that, I'm past that. It's like, no, you're not. Like, but anywho, let me move on to the next lesson. So the next lesson I learned is, once you grow, you can't fit in old places and spaces. Let's just pass the collection plate around again. Let's just keep it out, keep it flowing in the aisles. But yo, it goes back to the old neighborhood. Now Genesis Genesis is off Jerry Springer. I'm telling you, the Bible is so interesting, y'all. Like, I'll be reading it, and then I use the Bible app a lot of the time too, so I can get like the different translations, because sometimes they be saying things in a way that you never heard it, and I just be like, wow, okay, this is what y'all were doing, okay, you know. But yeah, like, once you outgrow certain places, you just can't fit into certain spaces. And it goes back to me being in my childhood neighborhood. I'm just like, I can't be here anymore. Like, visiting, yeah, but to live here, I would literally feel like I physically would feel like I outgrew it. Like, why am I here? Why am I living on this street? Like, I'm so past this. Like, it's so crazy, because it's like I'm on the outside looking in now. So the things that I used to be right in the tick of, now I can look and be like, yeah, I'm good. Like, you know, I'm not interested in going back there. I'm not interested in doing that. I'm not interested in hanging there. I'm not interested in dealing with it. Like, you know, I'm just so past it. And just the mere thought of living in my old neighborhood, it literally makes me sick to my stomach. Like, I can't. Like, I just can't do it. Like, if I move back, hey, Ash and Shay. But if I do move back, like I said, I can do the Richmond area, because when I lived there, I wasn't like super close to Richmond. Like, I was in the greater Richmond area in Virginia, but I was still far enough away where like it didn't quite feel like it. But that's the furthest I can do. Maybe Norfolk. Other than that, I'm good. I'm not doing it. I'm definitely not living in DC. DC has gotten like, it's like way more of a busy city feel now, but it's still a small city, which is weird. It's a very weird space. It's like a lot of development, a lot of building, it feels so congested now. Like, I don't know, maybe because I've been gone so long in Atlanta. Like, Atlanta's not that big of a city too. That's the thing. People be feeling like Atlanta is so big, but it's a metro area that makes it feel big. But the city itself, it doesn't feel like super congested. DC feels very congested now. Like, everything is just on top of each other and stuff. I couldn't picture living there. It's just a little too much for me. I need a little bit more space. Listen to Bible Recap. It's a great podcast that's like Spark Notes. I read something, then go to I read something, then go to the podcast, and I'm like, hold on, wait, what? Oh, nice. Yeah, thanks for telling me that. I'm going to look that up. I feel like I've heard that before, Bible Recap, but I'm going to look that up. I'm definitely going to look that up, because I love just kind of like hearing it again, digesting it, all of that. But yeah, exactly, Kendall. I'm going to have to get Bible Recap. I love it. I can listen to that like while I'm out and about doing Grubhub or whatever, you know, so that's a great, or cleaning the house, you know, so that's great. Thanks for suggesting that, Yasmin. But yeah, it's like I can physically see how I outgrew it. And even certain parts of the Richmond area, because like I said, when we lived in Spotsylvania, I used to hang more in Richmond because it was easier to get to. And so when I was with my best friend and like her boyfriend and one of his friends and stuff, like we were all hanging out. And when we would go to like certain places and do certain things, I'm like, I just feel like I'm above this now. Like, not to sound conceited, but it's like, it's above me. Like that, like how people be like, it's above me now. Like, that's how I feel like I am above. Like, I'm just past it. I'm past it, you know? It's cool, but I don't know. It's like y'all are literally just kind of stuck in like a time warp, or like you're just doing the same thing over and over and over and over. And I'm just like, aren't you tired of this? Like, don't you want a little pizzazz, a little razzle dazzle in your life? Don't you don't you want something a little different? I don't know. It's not for me. But other than that, though, the other times that we were in Richmond, because we were kind of all over the Richmond area between there and Petersburg, it was pretty cool. Like, I can see it. If I had to. If God were to lead me back there, I can live there and be happy. It's just other areas like where I used to frequent and stuff, like downtown Richmond, Jackson Ward and stuff. I'm like, nah, I'm good. But you know, I'm good. Razzle dazzle, you know. I can't do it. But I really just realized like how much I changed just in the last 2 years, because I started influencing May 2019. We pretty much knew we were going to move out of Virginia by like July 2019. So basically since then, and once we got here, obviously October 2019 to now, I'm just completely different. I'm just like, I am completely different in these streets. I am not the same woman I was before I left. I can tell you that right now. Atlanta done, it ripped me a new one. It molded me. It did a lot. It woke me up to a lot of different potential I had, a lot of different ways that people do things, a lot of different people in the world that are not so savory. It really like woke me up to a lot of different things. So I'm like, yeah, I'm good. But if I'm being completely honest, I do kind of feel like God would lead me back to Virginia. I don't know. I just have this feeling in my gut. So we'll see if and when it happens, but I don't know. It's just something in me is like, yeah, he's going to take me back there. And I feel like if he does, it's going to be to help the people that need to be helped, because people need help. People need help. They need to like just see things from a different angle and just, get a little bit of pep in their step and stuff like that. So I feel like if he does lead me back to Virginia, it'll be something like that. Like you're back here to reach back and help the people that otherwise would not get the help type of thing. But you had to come to Atlanta to get sharpened, to get the skills, to get the know-how so that you can go back and be well-equipped, because you're going to have to be well-equipped. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it happens. Hey, you heard it here first, April 28th or whatever today's date is. Is it the 28th? Yeah, April 28th. You heard it here first. So that's one thing. Another lesson I learned. The next lesson I learned is do not allow your feelings to override what you're called to do. So I'm so different. I think moving away from home is essential to self-realization and discovery, although some people get there without ever moving to a different state. True. Yeah. And that's the thing. That's why I'm glad I left Yasmin, because it's like, I feel like you really do wake up and realize things. And I had said that earlier in the live, I think before you came on. I was like, when you're born and raised in an area, you get used to it and you're just kind of like, okay, like this is what I'm used to. And, it's some people are like, oh my gosh, get me away from here. And then because it sucks and this and that. And then when you get away, then you get that self-realization, like you said, and you realize things about yourself. And you're like, okay, like maybe you might realize, okay, I'm going to go back. Maybe you might realize, no, I'm not going to go back. Or you realize things like you said about yourself, like, okay, well, this is who I am. This is what I want. This is where I see my life going. So it's definitely, I think everybody should experience living away from home at least once, even if you end up going back, it just opens your eyes to different things that I feel you wouldn't realize otherwise. So, but yeah, like you said, some people get there without ever moving away. But I know for me, it was a huge wake-up call. Like it's been a build-up over the years because I've lived all over the DMV, all the way far south as Richmond. And each area, even though it's a tri-state area, each area has its own like subculture, its own hurdles and such. So I definitely learned some things just in moving a lot, especially the last 12 years or so. But yeah, this Atlanta move was like, hello, hello world, But yeah, so do not allow your feelings to override what you're called to do. So sometimes just bring it back to that sentiment where it's like you might be in your home area. You might be in a place, even if it's not your home area. You might be in a place and be like, I'm tired of being here. This absolutely sucks. I'm not seeing the fruit. Why am I here? But it's like you have to be there for a reason. It might not even be where like a major breakthrough or anything's going to happen, but it might be a breakthrough in the sense of you realize who you are. You're getting sharpened. You're getting trained. Like God is pruning you in a major way. Like the pruning that's happening here since I moved to Atlanta is so much more fierce and obvious than when I was in the DMV in the Richmond area, And so you can get frustrated because you just want to be like, I'm over it. I'm done. Why am I here? But it's like, now it's not the time. Like you can't leave prematurely. You can't make a move prematurely. And on the flip side, you might want to, you might want to stay. You might want to stay. You might be like, I don't want to move. I'm good. Like, this is all that I know. I don't want to go anywhere else. And God is like, I need you to move. And in my family, we have some of each. So I'm the type that I had said earlier, I have itchy feet. I'll go wherever my heart is like, we gonna live here. I will literally pick up and go tomorrow. If I'm ever a millionaire, listen, I will be living in a different place, like probably every 3 years, every 2-3 years, because I'm just like that. I'm like, there's a whole big world out there. Like there's so many cities I want to experience. And I feel like you can't really experience it until you live there. It might suck. check. It might be great. You don't know, but hey, let's try it. So that's just how I am. But I'm like that, and I'm just like, the minute I get the feeling, I'll research, and as soon as God opens doors, I'm like, well, time to go. My mom is the total opposite, and granted, she grew up in Guyana, and in Guyana, people don't move. People are literally born on a plot of land that their family owns, and the home that they grew up in, they pretty much stay in. They might renovate it or build another house on the land, because people tend to have a lot of land in Guyana, and they don't move. If they do move far, is because they got a job that took them out of the way, or they got married and they moved, or whatever the case may be, or they're going to university in like another country or something like that. But for the most part, people stay exactly where they were born, literally on the same plot of land, the same property. So my mom doesn't like to move. Now, she has moved a lot, because obviously, she was raised in Guyana. She moved to America. She traveled a lot. She moved to New York first, then to Maryland. Then, of course, we moved all around the DMV, Richmond. Now she's in Georgia. So my mom has moved a lot, and we talking about, again, possibly, like I said, we know this was not our forever home. So we know at some point we're going to have to move. So we just talk about that, like, okay, when that time comes, like, where do you think God's going to lead us and stuff like that? So she, Lord willing, she, survives to see it, but she'll probably be moving at least 1 or 2 more times in her lifetime. So, but she's the opposite. If she had her way, she would not move. And she's like, I'm good. I know this area. I know what to expect. I don't want to have to figure stuff out. But for me, I'm all about it. So let's see. I haven't moved from my hometown, but I feel how you feel. That's why I really don't want to go to my high school reunion, because I feel so far from where those people are. Listen, my high school reunion was pathetic. It was so sad. Like I didn't even go to it because I was pregnant, because I graduated 2006. I was pregnant in 2016. I didn't want to go because people be nosy. They be asking me a million questions. And the way it all happened, I didn't want people to be like, oh, who's the father? Do we know him? And it's not like, no, you don't know him. Stop asking me questions. So I didn't go, but one of my best friends went. It was so sad. Apparently, a lot of people had the same sentiment I had, and they didn't go. It was literally, now granted, I went to a private school, so my graduating class was like, how many of us? It was probably like 80 of us. It was a small school. Altogether, it was about 300 something students. It wasn't a lot. But out of the 80 something of us that graduated, I want to say it was about 5 or 6 people that went to the reunion. It was pretty bad. And it was the high school reunion is always a 3-day event. So the Friday, they'll have like Friday night worship and stuff like that, because it's a Christian school. And then they would do like the meet and greet and whatnot. And then the Saturday they would do church, because it's an SDA school. So they would do church on Saturday, and then and like potluck and stuff. And then Sunday they would have like the rally at the high school gym and all that good stuff, where they would like show pictures from the year that you graduated, you guys back in high school and stuff. And you guys would just reminisce and network and all that. She was like, the first night it was like 3 people. The church service, it was probably 6. And then the Sunday, it was like 5 or 6 or something like that. But she was like, it was really bad. Like nobody was up in that joint. They were asking for me and everything. I was like, just tell them I'm good. I just had stuff that came up or whatever. But yeah, it's just, and the thing is too, the funny thing is when I'm on Facebook, a lot of my high school like classmates will request me as friends and stuff. And I'm just like, we didn't talk in high school. Like, why would we be Facebook friends? I'm that type of person. It's just weird. It's like, what are we going to talk about? We didn't talk in high school, but some of them are subscribed to my channel. Thanks, y'all. Love you. But, some of them are subscribed to my channel. They be watching because they be like, yo, you got some nice content and this and that. I'm just like, wow, you watch my stuff? Thank you. Like, I appreciate that. But, let's see. I'm team moving to, this is my 5th state. Yes, 5th state. Come on. I'm trying to get on your level, Jazz. I lived in Maryland, DC, Virginia, and now Georgia. So I don't know if I get my way and I get to experience living in Florida or Texas, then that'll be my 4th state. Yeah, my 4th state. So we'll see. But if God takes me back to Virginia, then it is what it is. We'll see how it all works out. But I do want to live overseas too. So yeah, I just have a bucket list of places I want to live. It's like every place has so much to offer. Like, let me experience it, Let's see. I didn't go to my high school reunion, but I'm going to our 15th. Yes. I don't know if I'm gonna go to our 20th, because our 15th is this year. Definitely not going, if they even have it, to be honest. But the 20th will be 2026. I don't know. I might be living in London or something, but who knows? I might not go. I might just Skype them and be like, hey y'all, or whatever, but we'll see. Nobody came to your reunion. Nobody came. We didn't want to see each other, like sitting there fraternizing and acting like we care about each other. We don't. Like I didn't care for you in high school. I still don't care for you. It is what it is. I've connected with people from high school who I didn't talk to a ton while I was in school, but now as adults and moms, we have points of connection. It's good. That's great. Like I like hanging out with the classes that graduated before me. I would love to go to all the class reunions that we have. Yeah. So the way my high school does it, and like I was saying, that's great, Yasmin, that y'all connected. I don't know. The people in my class, like, I don't know. I'm one of those people where I'm like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, I'm good. Because connection, I don't know, y'all. I was like, I'm an extrovert, but I'm antisocial at the same time. It's so weird. This is why YouTube is perfect for me, because I just talk to the computer, I talk to the camera, I shut it off, and I go back into my hole that I called out. Because I need to recharge. Like, it's a lot being an extrovert. It's a lot. But yeah, like you were saying, you like hanging out with classes that graduated before you. So my next door neighbor at my childhood home, my childhood neighborhood, he was 2 classes before me. He was 2004, and we used to carpool to school together. But he is living somewhere. So he was in the military. He was in Japan for years. And then I think he's back in North Carolina because his family's originally from North Carolina, the Charlotte area, I believe, or something. But I believe he's still living there. I lost touch with him. We had reconnected in 2013, talked for like a year or so, and then he just fell off. So I hope he's doing okay. If you see this, hey, how you doing? But I hope you're doing well. But yeah, I used to hang a lot with 04 because of him. 05 because one of my old best friends was 05. And I had some friends in, of course, my class, 07. And then 08, I knew like just a hair of people because of gospel choir. So we got close because we were always traveling around singing and stuff like that. After 08, I knew like 1 or 2 in 09 because of my best friend's younger siblings. And after that, I'm completely like, I don't know anybody. So most of my friends are 05 to like 07. But acting like we care when we don't care, okay? Like, y'all know how I'm doing. You saw the YouTube video. You know, you saw the vlog. Ask me how I'm doing. You know how I'm doing. You saw it. I love upperclassmen. Yes, I used to feel so cool coming to school with my neighbor. You know, walking in. And then he was one of the boys in the school that every girl had a crush on, including me. And he knows this. I confessed it in 2013. But everybody used to be like, oh my gosh, how do you get to talk to him like that? Da, 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 da. I used to really feel like I was somebody, y'all. You couldn't tell me nothing. Pulling up to that school, like, yeah, what? Like, it's my neighbor. Yes, I have direct access. And I know you want it, but you can't get it. Not like me. I'm here, but might be a little less active in the chat. That's okay, Yasmin. I'm glad that you're still here listening. Honestly, I didn't go because I felt like the one who didn't make it. Oh, yeah, I can understand that. In high school, I swore I was going to be an OBGYN, and people used to call me Dr. K, high hopes. I felt ashamed and didn't go. That's real. That's why I didn't go to mine, because I was the person that people always thought would be like most likely to be female president, like most likely to become like a 7-figure entrepreneur, which we're in the works of doing. But nobody pictured me being a single mother. And it took a while for me to come to grips with it. Honestly, the first year of being a single mother, being pregnant, and then having my son, I honestly felt like the biggest failure ever. I was so embarrassed. I'm like, people literally will be looking like, what in the world? How do you become a single mom like this? And then in such a situation, because it's so easy to judge people and be like, oh, that would never happen to me. You never know. You literally never know. And the story can't judge people. But I was just embarrassed, and I didn't want people to ask. Now, if I had like the confidence that I have now, I would have went and I would have told my story and just been upfront about it, because the reality of the situation is I was not the only one. A lot of women that year from my class were pregnant too, or had just had a baby, and it was a tumultuous situation or a traumatic situation like myself, and they didn't go. I don't know what their reasons were, but if it was mine, I can understand where they were coming from, because it's just like people be prying, especially, you know, like you said, they have high hopes, and they're like, dang, like that's how you ended up. You know, dang, that sucks. So I was like, I don't really want to go and answer a bunch of questions. But now I don't care. I mean, I'll be telling my business on YouTube and stuff now. Like, you know, now I don't really care. It's just like, it is what it is. It's going to help somebody else out there, because we all going through it. It's nothing new under the sun. Everybody's going through it in some way, shape, or form. Girl, you are exactly who you were created to be. Yes, come on. You better come on with the encouragement in the comments. This is why we have our own little tribe, y'all. This is why I put some respect on Yasmin's live stream time, because you can't like not be in her live stream when she in your live stream encouraging folks and, just helping people. So I'm just like, I love our tribe. I'm just here for it. And you guys are honestly an answered prayer. I'm going way left field with this, but hey, the spirit is flowing. But y'all are such an answered prayer because I prayed for friends like this. And to be able to build a YouTube platform and be exactly who I am, and people like it and they resonate with it and they still get encouragement and a word from the Lord, or they can see themselves in me, like, it's just such a blessing. Like, honestly, it's all just a blessing. It's all coming together, even though this moment in time for me is still a little foggy because I'm really just trying to see where God's leading me. And I'm really in the middle of that space. Like, I'm in Canaan right now. I'm just trying to figure it out. But in the end of the day, I'm like, even if it doesn't turn out how I would exactly have envisioned it, I know God is good and he's still answering prayers. He's still faithful, even though it might look different than what I thought. So, just had to get that off my chest. But yeah, so I don't even remember what I was originally saying, but the lesson was do not allow your feelings to override what you're called to do. So that's that. And I have three more lessons, and then I'm gonna wrap up. Oh, but yeah, the next lesson is appreciate where you came from. So while I'm, low key in the sunken place when I'm in Maryland, and while I'm looking at all these people outside the Big Daddies and the liquor store and all that, and I'm just like, wow, like they have not changed at all. And I'm in Richmond, and I'm like, I low key would love to just like be back here and really just finish the work that I started up there and stuff. It really just made me realize, like, I'm appreciative for where I came from. Like I had said earlier, it exposed me to a lot. It gave me a lot of experience, a lot of things that people had to learn later in life. I learned early, like, just like I had mentioned earlier, having the cultural awareness, like it's just certain things. I just know how to interact with people from all over the world because I was inundated with it where I grew up. And, it's like the lessons that I learned in those neighborhoods, the way that the people support me there. Like, I just love it. Like, I can really look back and just appreciate what I was surrounded by, even though I didn't appreciate it back then. Growing up, and I had mentioned earlier in this live, just seeing Black affluence and excellence and happiness and, love and all of that. It was just a way of like, it's just like, this is just what it is. And so in being in it, you get tired of it because it's just like, okay, like I want to see something else. This is whack. But now being outside of it and in a whole nother region, a whole nother environment, I can look back and just see how my upbringing helped me. Like, it really just helped make me who I am. I love y'all. It's personal when I see Satan lying to y'all. Yes, man. Like, Satan be trying. Like, he be trying, but he's not going to succeed. Yes, y'all have been a blessing to me. You really have been. Like, all y'all are such a blessing. Remember, we all receive the best things in life. Yes, salvation. Amen. Come through with the word. Come through with the word. Like, man, that's so true. It's like, at the end of the day, like, it's not that you're not gonna have goals or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's like, it's all passing away anyway. Like, at the end, we know that we're going to be in heaven. I was talking about that earlier with my mom and sister. I don't even remember what we were talking about, but all I know is that at some point in the conversation, I said, I don't live in fear because like, I think we were talking about COVID or something like that, but I was like, I don't fear it because at the end of the day, of course, take your precautions or whatnot, take proper measures, but I don't walk out of here fearful because at the end of the day, if that's how I'm supposed to go, I'm gonna go like that. And when I go, I'm gonna be with my Heavenly Father anyway. So I'm not tripping. Like, it is what it is. Like, would I like to still be here? Sure. But I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh, I got to live in fear. I can't do this. I can't do that because like, if that's the case, you won't leave your house. You won't even leave your bed because you could get off the bed and something happened, so you just can't, there's no room for fear at all. And salvation is the ultimate gift. So it don't matter what life is looking like. And that's what I remind myself when I'm feeling behind in life. Yes, like it's so easy to feel behind too. And that's another thing that I would say I don't miss about DC. Richmond isn't like this, but DC is very much like a braggadocious city. It's all about who you know, what you're doing, where you're going, what you got going on. Like, you always kind of feel like you have to have your resume out. And I don't miss that at all. Like, I do not miss that at all. Atlanta can be like that, but that's more so certain circles that you move in, and especially when you're downtown. I'm not downtown that often. I'm gonna end up, Lord willing, if we don't end up moving out of the state when I think, then we're definitely trying to move closer to the city because we're a little too far out here and it's just becoming very inconvenient. But where I live, it's not like that. Now, depending on the crowd, sure, but I tend to connect with very down to earth people. So, because I just don't have the time. Bragging is exhausting. Like, I remember literally being tired in DC just from conversations on dates or getting to know people because it's like, well, I'm starting my internship here and I'm getting paid this much and I have a top secret clearance and I know this person, da, 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 da. And you leave the conversation, you're like, whew, man, I need a drink of water. I'm tired. My head is throbbing. My mouth is dry. Like, it's too much. It's too much. It's literally like an Olympic sport. Bragging should be an Olympic sport because it takes wherewithal. It takes grit. And I'm just not built like that. I just don't care at the end of the day. Like, if y'all see it, you see it. If I get the accolades, great. If not, whatever. Hey, Ebony, I shouted you out too. I'm talking about lessons I got from home. You're going to be in next week's vlog. I had to split it in 2, maybe 3, depending on how long next week's vlog is. But, yeah, I don't like discussing accomplishments. All you need to know is that I know Jesus. That's my okay. Thank you. Like, the work speaks for itself. It's just I can't. Like, I just can't. Because I was hanging with my best friend in Richmond, and she was on the phone, like, because she was in the middle of negotiating her position now for like a promotion or something, or to extend the contract. And it was a lot. I was like, oh, sis, I don't miss it. I don't miss it. Like, it was a lot of just like boasting and boom, 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 boom. And I mean, you got to do it in those areas because it's the negotiation process. And I'm just like, it's too much. Like, I got a migraine. I'm just trying to figure out, are we eating Peruvian chicken tonight or not? Like, that's where my mind is at. Is we eating or not? Like, it should be an Olympic sport. I'm telling you, people that boast all day, I'll be looking at them like, you got stamina. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm tired just listening to you go on and on and on about yourself. Like, I literally had dudes trying to holler at me up there, and that's the first thing they approached me on the streets. Not even like, okay, if I was on Facebook dating or something, I could see it online. People tend to move differently, but on the streets, you don't even say, hey, how you doing? The first thing you say is, hey, I work here and here. I got a promotion last week. What? Like, hello, how are you? Are you good? Did you eat today? Like, can we get through the basics first? Just doing the absolute most. Oh my gosh, y'all. I don't miss it at all. I really don't. I was like, hey, now sleep. Now is my boo. Don't do my boo like that. There's definitely a time and place when God prompts me, I'll share what he had done, but otherwise someone else will have to tell you, yes, okay, period. Like, I cannot do it. So needless to say, outside of little things like that, I do appreciate where I came from because it definitely helped me with like those kind of things to just be able to navigate different environments, be able to move amongst different groups of people and get by. It might not be the deepest connection every single time, but I could definitely get by and do what I got to do. And it's not super awkward. And to just like have an appreciation for certain things that people didn't get exposed to. Like some people, it wasn't until I started moving further and further away from the DMV that I realized that some people just have not seen Black excellence. Like the thought of like a neighborhood of thriving Black people is odd to them. It's like, what? That actually exists? Or some people can't imagine a very diverse city where you literally, it's like a mini world where you see some of everybody. It's just like, yeah, like that's normal. You will be walking in the mall and see people walking around in a sari or, like the African head wraps and the gowns and stuff like that's just what it is. So, I really do miss that. And even just down to, which this is going to seem so minuscule, but even just the food, like I said earlier, I have not had a good Peruvian chicken since I've been down here, and I'm feeding y'all. But I did get my Litos, so that's all that matters. And I did have 7-Eleven. They don't have 7-Eleven down here, and I was just like, I can't get a Slurpee because it's not the same at Quick Trip. It's too thick. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get back to the points at hand so I can close out because I'll end up talking about food, and half of it I can't even eat right now because I'm trying to get snatched for summer. But the last lesson that I learned is home keeps you grounded. Yeah, this is the last one, but it has 2 subpoints. So home keeps you grounded. So the first subpoint is that as an influencer and a public figure, and because we're all public figures, y'all. I don't care if your channel has 200 people. 200 people know you. So if they see you on the street, they know you. You're a public figure. We ain't gotta be no big time celebrity. People know us. We have a brand. But being that, it can get very tiring because it's like, especially here, because I basically hit the ground running when I got here because I had to so we could survive. And I had to start getting brand deals and stuff. But I realized how much of a dichotomy my life is. And for me, like, granted, I know everyone's different, but for me, I can't have that dichotomy anymore. So earlier in the live, I had said how certain people might look at me and say, well, she's not righteous. She's not godly. She's too edgy. She's too street. She's too this. She's too that. And I'm like, I found myself, especially over the last like 6 months or so, trying to be like other Christian influencers that I know, trying to fit the boxes that I know society would be okay with. Like, this is what a Christian woman looks like. This is what she sounds like. This is what she dresses like. And even though I wasn't doing it overtly, it was in the back of my mind when I was creating content, when I was putting up posts, when I was doing things like that. And I really woke up on this trip and realized that I was living like a double life. I really was living a double life, because it's like, it became so clear to me when I was taking pictures and I wanted to like capture certain footage, and I was like, oh, I can't show that because a Christian woman wouldn't show this. A Christian woman wouldn't be here. A Christian woman wouldn't be doing this. And I wasn't doing anything over the top. It wasn't anything that was like crazy or, but I was just like, oh no, I can't do that. And I had to stop myself and be like, what we're not going to do is be the charades. Like, we're not doing that. I'm not about to be one person online, another person behind the scenes. Like, granted, of course, some things are not ever going to make it online. There's certain things that are private. But I've built my brand on being transparent and being vulnerable while still maintaining privacy. And I realized that I mastered that. Last year, I did like a little questionnaire quiz thing on my stories just to boost up morale, get engagement up. And it was like 10 questions about me, answer them just to see how well my audience knows me. Y'all don't know me. y'all know me, but you don't know me. I was like, what in the world? I be sharing so much stuff, and y'all was bombing it. I don't think any of y'all on here took it, but no, Ebony might have. I can't remember, but it was a few people. Well, and if Jazz is on here, she took it. She barely skated by getting like, I think she got like 6 of them right or something like that. It was 10 questions. She got like 6 right. And I was like, dang. I was like, all the stuff I share with y'all don't know. And that's when I realized I have really mastered that, like being vulnerable and transparent, but still people don't know. And it's like, it's a delicate balance. I don't even know how I do it, but I do it. And it's like, people think they know, but they have no idea. Shout out to MTV for that reference. Those who are old enough to remember True Life. But, I was like, I built my brand on that. So who am I to try to change that, to try to be more boxy, to try to be more like, the next woman? Like, that's killing my whole assignment, because the women that resonate with me for a reason, because they're not getting it elsewhere. They're not getting it from the next woman. So why am I trying to be like the next woman when they need Rondelle to be Rondelle? And so, nevertheless, being home reminded me that I don't have to be Delle. Like, I was able to just be Rondelle. I didn't have to be the Christian YouTuber, the Christian business coach, the Christian influencer. I could just be me. If that looked a little ratchet that day, it is what it is. Like, nobody was like, oh my gosh, it's Delle. Like, I was just able to just be myself. And it was so refreshing. I was like, this is what I need to get back to this. I need to get back to the basics, because I feel like sometimes when things start ramping up for you in a certain area, and a lot of people label what I do a ministry, and I would say it is, because a ministry doesn't have to be like, Yasmin had did a video about that. It doesn't have to be in a church or a nonprofit or whatever. So I definitely believe it is a form of ministry, but sometimes we can take that word and be buried underneath the weight of that word. Like, oh, it's a ministry, so that means it got to look like this. And it's like, no, my ministry might just be for the hood rats. Okay. It might just be a little bit more street, but the way that I talk, the way that I do things, it resonates with them because they need to get that. They're not going to get it if I don't do it like that. And it's for me, and it's for my tribe, and it's cool. Like, we're good over here. So, needless to say, it definitely kept me grounded. Let me see what y'all saying. Okay, read that. Good point. I think the confirmation to vlog my beach trip. Yes, vlog the beach trip, because that was another bit of confirmation too. I'm vlogging more this year. Y'all not about to get every video being a vlog now, so don't jump for joy just yet. But but I definitely will incorporate it more every month. Because one, I'm in the streets this summer. We getting out. Hey, the world's opened up. We getting out. So there's something to vlog, because when I'm in the house, my life is pretty dry, to be honest. I'm just working. And it's hard for me to vlog with Grubhub because I don't want to reveal people's addresses, and then some restaurants are iffy about you having cameras and stuff. So, I try not to do that, and then holding food and all. But I'm definitely vlogging more this year because it's fun. I think it deepens the relationship between us and me and my audience on here, and it just opens you guys up to my life, like to be able to see how I am with my brother or my mom and my son and this and that. And definitely going to be vlogging my sister's beach birthday trip this summer. It's like a week-long trip. Definitely gonna be vlogging that because it's gonna be me and my mom, my sister, my brother, my nephews, my son, and my brother's girlfriend in a beach house. So, and we're probably gonna do a family mukbang too. Y'all heard it here first because we were talking about that. Because my brother's girlfriend is a content creator too, and my mom's a content creator. So we got at least 3 in my family. And if my nephews start their channel and quit loafing, we'll have 4 or 5. So we have quite a few content creators. We're like the content Kardashians, but I struggle with that with my channel and have finally just said, you know what, you're going to get Kindle. Either you like it or you don't, period. Like, I can't. Like, I can be a lot. I can be a lot. I can be very unorthodox in my faith. And that was another thing that scared me too, because a lot of people aren't ready for an unorthodox faith walk. They're used to the boxes. They're used to the predictable. They're used to whatever it is, and tradition and all that. And I'm very unorthodox. Like, some people will probably label me as, this is such a trap word, but I'm going to say it. They'll probably label me as spiritual. Depending on the crowd, more so than Christian. But again, it depends on the crowd because some people are super traditional, like KGV only, that kind of thing, fundamental, like, that crowd, I'm spiritual. Like, I'm definitely on the fringe. But, someone like like Redefined TV or what's the joint? I always forget. Pastor Mike Todd's church, Transformation Church. Like them, I would probably definitely fit more in with them. They get it. Definitely my old church in Maryland. It's way more unconventional. So I'm more in that crowd. But yes, we summering this summer. Y'all know it. I'm going to be in the streets. Home what's home? I mean, I feel like who I am on YouTube is closer to who I actually am. I'm ratchet in real life. I'm not as ratchet in real life. I'm much more quiet. I've become more calm since having my growth. Oh, really? I can't even imagine you being like more calm because it's the energy for me, sis. That's what drew me to your channel when I found you last year or something like that. I was like, this girl's got mad energy. She's hilarious. I'm here for it. You actually encouraged me to be way more energetic on my YouTube when I turned to a talking head channel. Because I started out doing makeup and vlogs. Then I was like, okay, I'm gonna just do talking videos. And I saw the energy and I was like, wow, you can have a talking head channel and have energy? Yes, I'm here for it. So you definitely encouraged me a lot with that. And I'm still trying to get on your level with the editing though, but we're gonna get there one step at a time. You guys enjoy and stay safe. Absolutely. The health department and me, for real. Let me tell my grandma yes, get grandma on the mukbangs. That'll be so much fun. I can't wait. Like, I'm gonna try to just get like maybe a seafood boil or something, and my whole family just sit and we have a mukbang. Y'all gonna see how dysfunctional my family is, how lively we are. I mean, they just really make me laugh. Content Kardashians. That's exactly what my family is. That's exactly what we are. My friends be like, calm where? But I say, okay, so you're not calm then. Because if your friends are questioning, you're not calm. Because I'm like envisioning all of us in person. I'm like, I already know it's going to be loud, ratchet, righteous, all of that. But that's my energy right there. Like, exactly what y'all see is me. I say yes all the time. I'm doing the most. Like, I am that hype woman in real life. People legit call me up, like, just hype me up real quick. I got an exam. And I'm like, you got it, girl. Yeah, you a queen. You a boss. Da, da, da. Like, that's me. I'm that person. And my last lesson before I close out is home allows you to get recentered. So at the end of it all, out of all the lessons I said, at the end of the day, it really reminded me just who I am. And if people think I'm not Christian enough, so be it. If people think that I'm too ratchet, so be it. If people think that I've changed and I forgot who I am, so be it. Like, at the end of the day, I just don't care. Like, my relationship with God is very personal. It's me and God. I'm not here to get applause from anybody else because it's not about them. The people that connect with me. The people that don't, they don't. The changes that I make are because the Holy Spirit leads me to make them, not because someone tells me I have to do it. And it is what it is. Like, I follow God, and it's not for me to try to justify to anybody. And I had to remind myself of that. I had to get away to remind myself because when I was away, I was able to see how I was trying to appease man and trying to get the applause and trying to be like, yeah, I'm Christian enough, right? Like, yeah, you approve of this, right? And it was not helping me at all. It was stressing me out. It was leaving me stuck because I was putting on a show. You know, I couldn't just be myself. I'm trying to put on a show. So now the real me is coming out. Y'all might be like, she woke up and chose violence today, but it's what it is. Like, you know, that's why I went live and I put that disclaimer. Hey, Shawandi, I put that disclaimer. I don't know if y'all saw it. It was like the live replay on my business page. I said a quick PSA. Because when I got back home to Atlanta, y'all, I was like, all hell was breaking loose. All types of stuff was going on. I was having it out with some folk. It was a lot happening. And I put a PSA and I was like, y'all just gonna see it. Like, I don't care at this point. Because I was being nice. But nah, like, this is Rondelle now. So I'm just warning you on YouTube. You might have some days where you're like, yeah, she woke up and chose violence today. Just pray for me. Just say a prayer. I'll be back. Give me a few hours. You know, I'll be back. But I just need that moment. I just need that moment. Just cover me in prayer. That's all I'm saying. Because when I'm in those moods, like, don't even try. Don't even try to be like, sis, calm down. That's, y'all, on a major side note, don't you hate when people say that? When you angry and people be like, oh, calm down. Y'all, I don't know about y'all, but that just sends me over the edge. Like, it's like I wasn't even that angry, but now that you said calm down, now I'm all the way on 10. Like, now you really got me. Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm done. Let me go ahead and close out. Look, I'm full of joy, period. I'm always doing the most. Loud Ratchet Hood, my crowd. My kind of crowd. Yes, I cannot wait to meet y'all. Yes, 2022. I was telling my mom we need to plan like a Christian YouTuber, Christian content creator meetup or something. We could rent an Airbnb, or I don't know. We're gonna have to plan it. We're gonna definitely do that for sure. Chose violence. I'm telling you right now. Oh my gosh, y'all. I'm just so glad that y'all are doing on this live. I need someone to sing Holy Spirit to bring me back centered. Actually, that's a good one. Someone could sing for me. That would definitely help. Music always snaps me back. But in that moment, don't ever tell me to calm down. Like, unless you want me to go all the way off, don't do it. And I have had dudes try that just for the fun of it. And I'm just like, why would you do this? Y'all keep me prayed up because people be trying me in these streets and I be really going through it. That's just you, friend. It doesn't make me angry if someone says I'm angry. Really? Oh my God. That gets me even more mad. It's like, don't tell me to calm down. Like, that's not. And she said I had to stop telling my husband to calm down. See, your husband gets it. It's just something about it. It's like, you know, and then too, like, by the time I get angry, I probably have let a lot of things like slip under the rug. So I tend to be super chill, but tell me to have several seats. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Y'all pray for me because clearly I'm not there yet. So yes, we have to do a meetup. Sunny in the mukbang community. Oh, really? They're doing one this summer? Oh, that's going to be so much fun. Yeah. Meetups are fun. Like I definitely am here for it. I just got to know and we can make it happen. You know what? When you said 2022, I was like, that's so far away. And then I realized we're in 2021. I was thinking we're still in 2020. My bad. I'm still trying to get my mind right. But anyways, let me close out because you're definitely going live in like 3 minutes and I don't want to hog your time. I'm going to hop over and support and listen while I'm working on some client stuff. So let me go ahead and pray. And thank you guys for joining me. I hope that these lessons just like speak to you because this was a very chill live. This is more like a girl talk and like mukbang girl talk, to be honest. But it does bother me if someone asks if I'm upset. Oh, yeah. So it's pretty similar if someone asks if you're upset. Yeah, I think for me, the difference for me is like if I'm already feeling some type of way and then someone's like, calm down. It's just, it comes off like, oh, you're blowing it out of proportion type of thing. It's like, no, like I'm really like, my feelings are justified in this situation. Like, give me a minute. But I can see that too. I can see how that would bother you as well. So I'm gonna pray and then we'll be good to go. So dear God, just thank you for waking us up this morning, Lord. Thank you for another day to just follow you, to pursue purpose, to glorify you, Lord. Lord, I thank you for all the women, all the people on this live and on the replay. I just thank you for answering prayers and bringing me a community of people in my life that really just embrace me and love me regardless, Lord, that understand the journeys of life, that understand the transitions and the growth I might be going through, and just allow me the grace and space to be able to make such adjustments and not feel trapped, Lord. I thank you for breaking chains of just feeling like we have to please people, feeling like we have to be accepted, feeling like we have to fit in boxes to get approval, Lord, and all of that. Like, I just thank you for breaking us free from that and to really just start embracing you. Less religion, more relationship, where we can break out of these habits and traditions that we feel we have to be bogged down by, that really just keep us stifled and keep us from really being used by you. So, Lord, I pray that you just consume our lives. Let every area of our lives just be used, Lord, even the most least likely, the things that we're like, that can't be used, Lord. Just let somebody see it and you get the glory out of it, Lord. Lord, I pray that you keep us humble, that you keep us faithful as you continue opening doors for us, as we continue growing, as we continue pursuing purpose. Lord, I pray that we would just really learn lessons in life, Lord, whether we're still living wherever home is or whether we've moved away, but just let us be able to rest in home, wherever our home is now. And if we have to go back to get to where we were born or whatever, like, let us be able to just go back and reminisce and grow and just see how far you brought us, Lord. I thank you for all that you've done, all that you're doing right now, and all that you're going to do. I pray that you bless everybody on this live, whatever they're dealing with, whatever obstacles in their life, that you would just get rid of it, Lord, or at least let them see the blessing in it, Lord, that they would be pruned, that they would follow your example, and that we won't rush the process, that we won't move hastily or impulsively, but we would just let you work and let the Holy Spirit work in our lives, Lord. Thank you for all that you've done. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. All right, y'all. So that's all that yeah, you know, I get that. Don't tell me to calm down. That's hilarious. 2022 does seem far. I really thought we were in 2022. I was like, oh, that's 2 years away. But then I was like, oh wait, it's definitely April, like 2021. So we got to get planning, ladies. But anywho, y'all hop over to Yasmin's live. I'm pretty sure she's doing a live like right now as we speak. So definitely hop over. I'm about to end this and save it. And thank you for all the support. Also, I'm literally at like 2,100 watch hours, just about. It goes up and down, and I'm at 600 subscribers. That goes up and down too. But we are getting monetized this year. Like, it's becoming a reality for me. So I really would appreciate it if you guys could just like loop my videos, stream them. I don't care if you're not even sitting watching it. Just put it on a device, put it down in a room somewhere, and just play it. Yasmin had said that the more devices you have, the better. So if you have that and you can do it, I appreciate it. Thank you for all the support. I will see you guys on Yasmin's channel and next week. And love y'all. Bye.